Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Hot Stove Videocast, and today we are going to be doing our second weekly update here, as we're going to be talking about some news around the baseball world and talking about some news and updates around Major League Baseball. So this is our second time doing this. Obviously, I did one last Sunday, so here I am again. I made a video on Friday predicting the top 10 free agents and where they're going to land, and it's kind of one of the ins and outs of that. So go check that out. But for now, we're going to be talking about some news around baseball, some Phillies news. We'll do some Phillies news, talk about that. We're going to talk about a little about the Astros scandal and the MLB awards. Now, I originally planned to make a video all separate for the MLB awards, the Houston Astros cheating scandal, and the weekly update. And I just decided it would be 3 separate videos, so I just decided just to combine them into one. So here you are. It's just in one video. I'm going to try to keep this under the 25-minute mark. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. I think it's appropriate to start off with some Phillies news. First of all, we're going to go through. I don't know what the order is going to be yet. I guess I'll just think of it when I get to it. We'll just start with some Phillies news. I believe it was last Monday, Rhys Hoskins and his wife Jamie finally got married in Lake Tahoe. So congratulations to them. A report, I don't know if I reported this or not, but also in that same day, according to the Philadelphia Inquirer, the Phillies have free agent righty Garrett Cole at the top of their wish list. I think that's pretty self-evident in my opinion. I don't think that's really any surprise. I think every team in the running for him has them as him at the top of their wish list because he's a really special player. Obviously, we also heard that report that he wasn't going to sign until January. That's another thing we heard this week. Obviously, Gabe Kapler went to San Francisco. And here's another thing, the hitting coach update. First of all, Joe Dillon, obviously, is the leading candidate. The Washington Nationals hitting coach Joe Dillon is the leading candidate to be the next hitting coach of the Philadelphia Phillies. Joe Girardi really likes Kevin Long, and he was the Nationals hitting coach, and he really, really wants Joe Dillon because obviously Dillon has worked with Kevin Long the past 2 years, and he wants him on this coaching staff to replace Charlie Emanuel. Obviously, before that it was John Maley. So Joe Dillon I think would be a really good fit here. It'd be nice to get another coach from Washington to come over here and see Bryce Harper again. That'd be pretty nice to have him come over here. And I heard that Dillon has Long's endorsements, so hopefully that happens. Matt Stairs obviously is still in the running. He was our hitting coach in 2017. He was originally in the booth. I don't know if you remember that. I think I remember him most in the booth. He did a really good job in the booth. He left to go to be a hitting coach for us in 2017. After just 1 year, he left to go to San Diego, and then he was fired after just 1 year. And he's trying to interview for the job again, try to get his old job back. It's certainly a possibility. So obviously before that, there were Chili Davis, Matt Stairs, and Joe Dillon. Obviously, Chili Davis went to the Mets. So now it's just Matt Stairs and Joe Dillon who are the final guys standing here. And I think the nod is going to go to Joe Dillon to his connections with Joe Girardi. According to Ken Rosenthal, the Phillies have reportedly checked in on lefty Madison Bumgarner. No surprise there. Why not just check in? If the price tag's at a reasonable price, then why not go after it? According to Jim Salisbury, the Phillies have reportedly checked in with agent Scott Boras on free agent third baseman Mike Moustakas. Obviously, I said, they're really connected with these Josh Donaldsons and the Mike Moustakases. They're very, very connected with them. I think one of these two guys will come to Philadelphia as a bridge for Alec Bohm, maybe on a 1 or 2 year deal. I honestly think it's going to be Moustakas. According to multiple reports, as I said, here's another report that just came out 2 days after that. Joe Dillon is most likely to be the next hitting coach of the Philadelphia Phillies. So as the week goes on, we just find out more and more and more about that. Another thing, J2 Muto news. Muto deal in works. Phillies and all-star catcher J2 Muto quietly trying to hammer out extension. That was reported by NBC Sports Philadelphia. I think that is going to be kind of a low-key thing. We cannot let him leave in free agency. We have to make sure that he stays. So that's the weekly news update with the Philadelphia Phillies. So I think we kind of talked a little bit about free agency. So let's start with the awards. So obviously the awards have been going on for about a week and a half now. They officially all came out. So why not go look at them? Let's look at the American League MVP award. The most valuable player award goes to Mike Trout. Mike Trout had a fantastic season this year. Obviously his season was unfortunately ended a little bit earlier than expected. 45 home runs. He was amazing. He really was. I mean, 291 average. I mean, he was just the guy's an absolute machine. Every year in and year out, he just really he's just a machine. He really is. I mean, the guy just knows how to hit at the highest level. He's a professional hitter. And I think the biggest thing I like about Mike Trout is that he's just so humble about it. Like he's so low key. He's from Millville. I mean, my mom grew up in Millville, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to have a guy like right near me, who's kind of like near. I live probably about 40 minutes away from Millville, but it's kind of cool to have a guy like a local Jersey guy really succeed out west. So yeah, I mean, he's a class act. I mean, I love Mike Trout. He's probably like my second favorite player. My two favorite players are Bryce Harper and Mike Trout. These two guys are by far my favorite players, obviously. And he had one heck of a year. He really did. He just. I mean, is it really any surprise? 438 on base percentage. 438 on base percentage. The 645 slugging is unbelievable. The OPS over 1,000. I mean, you expect MVP. I mean, that's the MVP numbers for you right there. He really had a good year. 104 RBIs, 110 walks. So, I mean, he really had a year to remember. He's a great player, and he really just had an outstanding year. And well-deserved. You know what? And that's why I hope the Angels go out and get some good players, because I really want Trout to be on a winning team. And I want him to have a World Series ring on his finger by the end of his career, because he's so deserving of it. Looking at the NL MVP award, it went to Cody Bellinger of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So the two MVPs, both in LA. So Bellinger with the LA Dodgers and Trout with the LA Angels. So both obviously in Los Angeles. So the MVP in Los Angeles. Bellinger had a very good year. 305, 47 home runs, 115 RBIs, over 1,000 OPS. I think Anthony Rendon was more deserving of it. Anthony Rendon hit for a higher average. The numbers are better for Rendon, in my opinion. Look at it from the advanced stats standpoint. Obviously, I think Bellinger had a good year defensively too, but 47 115 RBIs. He had a very, very good year, and I think he really started off strong. He wasn't as good in the second half, but I mean, he's deserving of it, I guess. I mean, I think all these guys are good baseball players. Everyone wants to complain about, Rendon getting robbed. And I do think Rendon probably should have won this, but Bellinger still had an outstanding year. You can't take that away from him. So, Cody Bellinger, your 2019 National League MVP award. And listen, he hit like 260 last year with 25 home runs. He comes back this year. It's 305 with 47 home runs and 115 RBI. So, you're going to be feeling pretty good about that for Cody Bellinger. So, this guy is going to be a centerpiece in this Los Angeles Dodgers team for years to come. And so congratulations to Cody Bellinger. So your two MVPs, Trout and Bellinger. Let's take a look at the American League Rookie of the Year. It goes to Yordan Alvarez. He didn't even join Houston until June. So he kind of was a late comer to the party, but man, he really had a big impact on this team. 27 home runs. Think about that. That's really remarkable. I mean, you joined in June, you hit 27 home runs to finish out the year. I can't even imagine if you would have played a full year. 313 batting average, 78 RBIs, over 1,000 OPS. He had a really good year. And with the Houston Astros, he's definitely going to fit. He fits very, very well in the lineup. He's a good left-handed power bat. Did not do fantastic in the postseason, but he's a very good player. He's very deserving of it. I don't really see this guy play that much, obviously, since the American League. But, for what I saw of him from afar, I think he really had a good year, and I think he's very, very deserving of what he got. So congratulations to Yordan Alvarez on winning that. So the National League Rookie of the Year goes to a guy I'm very, very familiar with, and that is Pete Alonso with the New York Mets. He had an outstanding year. Obviously, he was given the nod opening day. He hit 260, 53 home runs, 112 120 RBIs. It's hard not to give it to this guy. I mean, he led the league in home runs. I mean, he had 120 RBIs. 260 average is the same as Bryce Harper's batting average, believe it or not. Everyone wants to make a big claim about batting average. Well, as long as you hit home runs and drive in runs, then you're doing just fine. And he had a very good year. And I didn't really I expected him probably to hit around 30 home runs or 25 to 30 home runs. And I was shocked when he hit 53. And some fan was trolling him the other day. He said, your fat ass doesn't deserve to win this Rookie of the Year. And Pete Alonso said, well, how does it feel to watch this fat ass hit 53 home runs and drive in 120 RBIs on your couch? So I'm quoting exactly what he said. So, yeah, he totally roasted this guy on Twitter. It was actually kind of funny. But, yeah, I mean, I've seen Pete Alonso do this. I mean, he was a home run machine. He went through some ups and downs. Obviously, he won the home run derby. He's he's a great power hitter, and I really think he deserves to I think he deserved to win. I think that's a very well deserved award. He really had a good year, really solid year with the New York Mets, and I mean, you hit 53 home runs in your first year, and that's really, really impressive. So I'd like to congratulate him on the big win. So hopefully, I'm sure he's hoping that he could build off of that next year. So let's take a look at the American League Cy Young Award winner, Mr. Justin Verlander of the Houston Astros. Listen. This is kind of controversial. He had a 21-6 record, 2.58 ERA, 223 innings pitched, 300 strikeouts. I mean, he had a fantastic season. Don't get me wrong. But you're looking over at his teammate, Garrett Cole, who had even a better year than that, a lower ERA. I mean, only a couple points lower, but he had more strikeouts. I mean, he was unbelievable. I mean, I think Garrett Cole was definitely robbed of this award. He had 26 more strikeouts. They had around the same innings pitched. Obviously, Verlander, I believe, had a few. Verlander. I mean, he pitched. I mean, they pitched around the same amount of innings, but I definitely think that Verlander was. I think Cole was slightly better than Verlander. I definitely think that this is kind of a head scratcher here. Why Garrett Cole was not given this award. I definitely think that Garrett Cole should have won this, but Justin Verlander, if Garrett Cole was not in this, let's say, and I definitely think Justin Verlander, I would say very well deserved, but I can't really say that because Garrett Cole really had deserved it because his numbers were slightly better. So I'm not too sure why Justin Verlander was given the nod, but I have to say it's very impressive for this guy to be 36 years old and him winning the Cy Young Award. I mean, that's really unheard of. I mean, the thing is that a couple years ago we thought this guy was on the decline. Really, I mean, ever since he went to Houston, he's been unbelievable. Who knows what they're doing to him over there? Maybe they're giving him maybe they're cheating on him now. So they're trying to maybe he's cheating. I don't know. I'm just kind of joking around about that. But how they cheated. We'll talk about that later. But going back to, it's unbelievable. I mean, he obviously won the, Cy Young with Detroit a couple years, I think he won in 2011. He was the AL MVP in 2011, which is really, that's extremely rare for a pitcher to win the MVP. Obviously, I believe Kershaw was the last to do that in 2014, but he's a great pitcher. I mean, he still has, I don't know how many years left he has in him, but I tell you, he's probably a Hall of Famer. I mean, there's no question. He's been around this game for a while. He's been very, very productive. I mean, he's 36 years old. You win a Cy Young and have a season like that. That's really impressive. So congratulations to Justin Verlander on winning that. I still would have probably gave it to Garrett Cole, but whatever. So let's take a look at the National League Cy Young. And this one, I'm gonna make some comments about this one. The National League Cy Young Award goes to, and I understand that maybe some people might not like this. Well, I don't like it either, but I think what I'm going to say about it. So we may not like this. It goes to Jacob deGrom of the New York Mets. Second straight year he's won it. I don't know about this one. I don't know. I think this is a little controversial. This season, it wasn't anywhere close to the season he had last year. He had a 2.43 ERA. He had a good year. He had a really good year. I hate Jacob deGrom, but he really had a good year. He had a productive year, 204 innings pitched, 11-8 record. It seems that they never win whenever he pitches. He's a great pitcher. 255 strikeouts. He's 31 years of age. Yeah, I mean, he's a good pitcher. I will not say, but you got guys like Steven Strasburg, who was an innings eater this year, led the National League in strikeouts. You got guys. I keep saying that Strasburg was second in the National League in strikeouts. He had 4 less than DeGrom, but I think if Scherzer would have been healthy, I definitely think probably Scherzer would have won this. But I think Ryu also had a good year. I think Ryu had a really good shot at winning this. I actually had either Ryu or Strasburg or DeGrom winning this, and DeGrom ended up winning. But I mean, I'll give him credit. DeGrom had a really good year, and I think it's kind of a toss-up. I mean, I think Ryu obviously he wasn't, obviously he's not really as much as a strikeout pitcher as DeGrom. I think that definitely had an impact. I mean, his strikeouts, he had 163 compared to DeGrom's 255. So that's a major difference. It's about a 100 difference. I mean, Strasburg, he was in innings either, but you could say that. Well, DeGrom had 204 innings. So, I mean, I think this is obviously a little controversial with there's a lot of good pitchers here, but you know what, DeGrom, I mean, whatever. I mean, I definitely think he deserved it. I mean, he had a fantastic year. So congratulations to him on winning the Cy Young Award winner. Now let's take a look at the Manager of the Year awards. This is kind of controversial in my opinion. The Manager of the Year, Rocco Benatti of the Minnesota Twins, led the Twins to their first AL Central title and a first obviously appearance since 2010. Obviously they made the wild card in 2017, but. Yeah, I think a lot of people thought that Aaron Boone should have won this award. That's what I'm hearing. I don't really watch the American League that much. I paid more close attention to the National League. I'll mention the National League in a second, but I think the reason why he was given this award is because he led to the Twins. I mean, I don't think people really expected the Twins to do that well at the beginning of the year. I think he kind of surprised everyone. And in my opinion, I'm not a huge Aaron Boone fan. I think he's a little bit of a whiner. I think he complains a lot. I don't think he's obviously his dad helped us win a World Series, Bob Boone. I don't know if you guys know that, but there is a relation. Aaron Boone is Bob Boone's son. And obviously there's Brett Boone. Aaron Boone is obviously the Yankees manager. And I'm not going to say I dislike Aaron Boone because, as I said, his dad, helped us win a World Series, but Bob Boone is in the Phillies Wall of Fame. I mean, so, it's Aaron Boone's dad. So, I don't know. I don't know if Aaron Boone. I think everyone expected the Yankees to. The Yankees made it to the ALCS, but I think Aaron Boone's a good manager. He's not great. I think a lot of people were kind of surprised when they went with him over Girardi a couple years ago. But yeah, as I said, I haven't really analyzed the situation enough to really make an opinion. But I definitely think Rocco had a good year at the Minnesota Twins. I think the reason why he won is because they did not expect to win really. So. But Aaron Boone obviously still had a good year with the New York Yankees, getting him to the ALCS again. But the Yankees need to get to the World Series if he's going to win this. National League Manager of the Year. Oh, my goodness. This is a huge. I totally disagree with this move. This is by far Mike Shildt of the St. Louis Cardinals wins the Manager of the Year. And I think maybe the reason why he may have won this is because the St. Louis Cardinals were kind of a dumpster fire at the beginning of the year, and they were able to come back. Obviously, Greg Counsell was in that as well, in this as well. And Davey Martinez of the Washington Nationals was in this. In my opinion, I think Davey Martinez should have won this, and I'll tell you why. I think Davey Martinez is a great leader, great guy, great manager, and Mike Shildt and Greg Counsell. You can make the argument that their teams are so far behind, and they are able to get them into the postseason. Well, guess what? The Washington Nationals were 11 games under 500, and they won the World Series. So that tops all of that kind of talk. So they won the World Series. So you can't make that argument. So that is ridiculous. So Mike Shildt, I don't get this at all. I think this is a stupid decision, and I really just don't understand that. But I don't get that at all. I really don't. But I definitely think Martinez should have won that. Martinez deserved it. He led his team to the World Series after being that far behind. That doesn't just happen. So Mike Shildt, I guess congratulations, but I think Martinez should have won that. The Hank Aaron Award goes to Mike Trout and Christian Yelich. So congratulations to those guys. Roberto Clemente Award obviously goes to Carlos Carrasco. Obviously, he was diagnosed with leukemia And it was kind of a difficult treatment with him, and luckily he was able to recover from that. He's a great guy. Gold Glove Award winners for the American League: Roberto Perez for the Cleveland Indians, Matt Olson for the Oakland Athletics at first base. At second base, we have Yoran Sanchez at second base for the Chicago White Sox. At third base, we have Matt Chapman from the Oakland Athletics. At shortstop, we have Francisco Lindor from the Cleveland Indians. At left field, we have Alex Gordon of the Kansas City Royals. In center field, we have Kevin Kiermaier of the Tampa Bay Rays. In right field, we have Mookie Betts of the Boston Red Sox. And at the pitcher's position, we have Mike Leake of the Seattle Mariners. And the Platinum Glove goes to Matt Chapman of the Oakland Athletics. The National League, catcher JT Muto from the Philadelphia Phillies. First baseman Anthony Rizzo from the Chicago Cubs. Second baseman Colton Wong from the St. Louis Cardinals. Third baseman Nolan Arenado from the Colorado Rockies. Shortstop Nick Ahmed from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Left fielder David Peralta from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Center fielder Lorenzo Cain from the Milwaukee Brewers. Right fielder Cody Bellinger from the Los Angeles Dodgers. And pitcher Zach Greinke from the Arizona Diamondbacks. So obviously Zach Greinke was traded halfway through the 2019 season to the Houston Astros, but he still won the Gold Glove award winner in the National League, even though he played there only half of the season. The Platinum Glove goes to third baseman Nolan Arenado from the Colorado Rockies. So let's take a look at the Silver Slugger Awards. Catcher Mitch Garver from the Minnesota Twins. First baseman Carlos Santana from the Cleveland Indians, former Philly. Second baseman DJ LeMahieu from the New York Yankees. Third baseman Alex Bregman from the Houston Astros. Shortstop Xander Bogaerts from the Boston Red Sox. Outfielder Mookie Betts from the Boston Red Sox. Outfielder George Springer from the Houston Astros. Outfielder Mike Trout from the Los Angeles Angels. And designated hitter Nelson Cruz from the Minnesota Twins. Taking a look at the National League Silver Sluggers. Catcher JT Realmuto from the Philadelphia Phillies. First baseman Freddie Freeman from the Atlanta Braves. Second baseman Ozzie Albies from the Atlanta Braves. Third baseman Anthony Rendon from the Washington Nationals. Shortstop Trevor Story from the Colorado Rockies. Outfielder Ronald Acuna Jr. from the Atlanta Braves. I'm just going to make a comment with that. I think Juan Soto obviously had a much better year offensively if you look at deep down in the stats. So I definitely think Soto probably should have been given that award. Outfielder Cody Bellinger from the Los Angeles Dodgers. Outfielder Christian Yelich from the Milwaukee Brewers. And pitcher Zach Greinke from the Arizona Diamondbacks. He only played there half a year, but he still was able to win that. So I'm not going to go through NLCS MVP or anything like that because we already kind of covered that. Relievers of the year go to Aroldis Chapman of the New York Yankees. Don't necessarily agree with that. And I definitely don't think that Josh Hader should have won the National League Reliever of the Year award. I definitely don't think that he should have won that one. I think I could think of a lot of better pitchers that should have won more than him. And I think that's enough. I'm not going to. There's some other awards in there are just not really official awards. They're just kind of I don't think worth mentioning. So yeah, that's all the awards. So congratulations to all those guys on winning them. As I said, I'm not really going to make a comment about the Reliever of the Year's awards because I'm trying to get this video. I don't want to make it too long, but I don't really agree with them. Now let's talk about the thing that everyone wants to hear: the Houston Astros scandal. So first of all, the Houston Astros cheated 2 years ago. This is obviously not proven, but there's a lot of evidence to prove that it is. They cheated 2 years ago in 2017. They actually had a garbage can and a bat, and they actually set out a camera in center field, and they had it zoomed in on the catcher. There was a computer monitor, I believe, in the dugout or the tunnel. And so what they did was, so the three guys involved in this were manager A.J. Hinch, bench coach Alex Cora, and player Carlos Beltran. So obviously those three guys all have managerial jobs now. J.J. Hinch is still at the Houston Astros. Now Alex Cora, the bench coach at that time, is now at the Boston Red Sox. And obviously now Carlos Beltran is with the New York Mets as the manager. So these guys are now three managers. So they're all going to separate ways except for A.J. Hinch, obviously. So what they do was, if it was a curveball, I know it was a changeup. They would bang on the garbage can, and that would get the hitter's attention. If it was silence, it would be fastball. And you could actually hear video of it if you want to listen to this. So this is video evidence of the Astros cheating. This is here it is right here. I'm not too sure how good it's going to prove. So this is silence. Listen to the bang. So that's the bang. So if they would bang twice, that would be a changeup. So that was supposed to get the hitter's attention. This is obviously cheating. You're allowed to steal signs, but you cannot use technology to do so. In the playoffs, you couldn't really hear that bang. So they actually had a coach. I actually watched this video. They actually had a coach, I believe, do I think they did the charge whistle. It was like I think someone whistled or something like that. I think so. Yeah, they couldn't obviously bang on the I think it was like I forget what the whistle. I forget what it was. I think that was what it was. I think it was like something like that. So obviously, I think that was the signal to the hitter that was going to be a curveball. I don't know who was whistling. I'm sure we'll probably find that out. And then I've heard something with the bullpen catcher, how he had an earpiece and someone would tell him what the sign was, so he put his arms over the railing, or if it was I forget the rhythm, but he put his arms over the railing and then he makes certain signs to signal to the hitter. So this is really, really bad. They cheated. Really, really bad. And this is cheating. This is totally against the rules to use technology like this. This is ridiculous. Obviously, we've seen multiple times where the teams have been able to pick up on the signs, and that's totally illegal. That's just part of strategy of the game. You're not allowed to set up a camera and steal someone else's signs. It's totally against the rules, and they should totally get punished for this. And I do think they will. If they find that this is true, and I think it is, I think they're probably going to be fined at least $1 million. Obviously, the Red Sox, I believe, were fined. I don't think they were fined that much, but I know they fined with the Apple Watch incident with Brock Holt and Dustin Pedroia. They're probably. I mean, that was around. I think that was that same year. But I mean, the Houston Astros are going to be in huge trouble. They're going to be in huge trouble. AJ Hinch, I heard rumors that he could be out for the rest of suspended for the whole year. I heard rumors that Alex Cora could also face a suspension. Same with Carlos Beltran, but Carlos Beltran declined anything. He said that he wasn't part of this, and if it does come out that he was, then he's going to be in huge trouble. Could that be any more Mets? Let's hire a new manager, and we find out he's in a scandal. That would be a laughingstock classic Mets incident right there. So all these guys are in big trouble. The Buck Showalter was on talking about it on the Yes Network yesterday. I was listening to that, and he was saying how bad the situation is if this comes out to be true, which I think it pretty much is. These guys are just terrible. I mean, like, why do you have to cheat like this? So they're in big trouble. They are in big trouble, and they're it's not looking good for those. It's not looking good for those guys, man. They're trying to cover it up, and it doesn't look like they're doing a very good job of it. So a lot of it's coming out. Obviously, I forget the pitcher's name. The Chicago. What's his name? I forget his name. I just can't think of it. I think it was like later in the year, it was like 3-1. I think they were winning, and he actually noticed the banging. I think he eventually stepped off. John Boy's Media has a video of it. He eventually stepped off, and he even noticed that there was banging going on. So he just stopped and stepped off, and he talked to his catcher. He said, "Could you hear that?" And the catcher was like, "Yeah, I think I did hear that." So this is a huge, huge scandal that's going on. And there's even reports. I mean, that was 2 years ago. I think MLB's now investigating if it was still going on this year, because I apparently, according to Yankees players, they reportedly heard whistling coming from the Astros dugout. So this is big. This is bad. And AJ Hinch tried to blow off, saying if we would have thought that whistling would have turned off the Yankees, we would have practiced that in spring training. Like, he's acting like a big tough guy. Like, he's acting like a big jerk with this whole situation. He looks like an ass. And he really does. He looks like a complete, total jerk. So I don't know what's going to happen with this whole situation. I think this is kind of a sticky situation that the Astros brought on themselves. I mean, it's their fault. They're the ones who were not forced into doing this. So, so I think you're going to see a lot of suspensions. Maybe you see them lose international signing bonus money so they can't sign. Maybe you see them lose some draft picks. They're definitely going to get major fines. You maybe see some people get fired. It's going to be bad. Like, this is one of the worst I can think of. Technology, you're not allowed to use technology. And people want to say, well, this is the strategy of the game. Yes, it is, but you can't use technology to cheat. That's when it crosses the line. So, guys, this is not a good situation for the Houston Astros. I really, really like that team. I like their story that they were able to draft the right players and win a World Series. But now, like, this kind of dwindles the whole feeling about them, because they cheated. So they didn't really do the work necessary to win because they just cheated. So that sucks. I mean, really, Like, why do you have to do that? So it's incredibly disappointing. I'm so disappointed in that whole organization for doing that. I definitely think they should be facing some heavy penalties. I definitely think, and I think they will. I think they're going to be in a lot of trouble. So, yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's your weekly update. Not too sure. Obviously, the GM meetings were, this past week. So I'm not too sure what's going to happen. I don't know. Obviously, there, some meetings. Obviously, winter meetings is in about a month or so. So I think a little less than a month now. So right now is November the 17th. So yeah, guys, it's flying by. Last week was November the 10th. So in another week will be November the 24th, and then yeah. So so thank you all so much for watching this video. Please smash the like in this video. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Just go check out the social media. I'm really, really missing the Phillies. I cannot wait for spring training. Wait for them to make some moves with some pitching and stuff like that. Joe Girardi is our manager, so I'm so happy about that. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I am Luke, and I'll talk to you all later. Thank you, guys.